Hi everyone, it is Achia here at Booking It with Achia, and today we are going to dive into my April reading recap. So all of the stats and goodies from the month of April, as well as the books that I'm hoping to get to in the month of May. Before we get started, make sure to check out my weekly wrap-ups for the full thoughts on specific books and things like that, as well as, being on the lookout for certain vlog projects, because those videos are the ones where you'll get specific thoughts about about all the books that I have read in a given month. And make sure that you are subscribed and you've hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I put out a new video. Also, link down below is my Etsy shop. I do bookish merch, bookish clothing, drinkware, and more to come. You can also check out my Pango book storefront, where you can essentially shop my unhaul shelves. These are books in excellent to brand new condition for great prices, so why not? And let's dive right in. So we're gonna start with the highlights from the month of April, starting with my favorite novels, novellas, and novelettes. And I have just 4 this month, and those 4 are Just a Girl by Alyssa Cole, The Oath by T.M. Richardson, Room to Dream by Kelly Yang, and Promise by Rachel Eliza Griffiths. My favorite picture books, I only had 3. This month was a pretty slow picture book month, considering how many picture books I was reading in February and March. So my favorite picture books of the month of April were Kindergarten, Kara's Kindness, and Soul Food. And then we have my disappointments versus my surprises. So in terms of my disappointments, I only have 2. The first one being A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. That was actually a DNF for me. For my thoughts about why I DNF that, make sure to check out my most recent weekly wrap up. And then we also have The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. I also talk about that one in a weekly wrap up. I believe it's my weekly wrap up number 11. So check that out to see my thoughts on that. And in terms of surprises, so books that I essentially was surprised I loved so much, we have I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which is a manga series, or it's a manga volume. It's really thick and large and everything, and I absolutely loved that. I thought it was so heartwarming, so heartfelt, and just gut-wrenching. It was great. Honestly, I highly recommend it. As well as I Want to Give You Your Flowers by M.L. Sexton, Just a Girl by Alyssa Cole, Inspector Volume 1, and Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. Then we're gonna slide on into my manga journey. So we'll talk about what I finished. I finished I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, which is a little bit of a weird one because I think it was told originally in 2 separate volumes, but the edition that I have has the entire story collected in 1 volume. So I guess I started and finished it in 1 sitting, if you will. And then in terms of what I continued on with, I continued on in Witch Hat Atelier, The Remarried Empress, Platinum End, Asadora, Noragami Stray God, Blood on the Tracks, Blue Period, Akane Banashi, Boys Run the Riot, and Something's Wrong with Us. And I started the following series: Tokyo Ghoul, One Piece, finally, yes, I know, Inspector, Crazy Food Truck, A Side Character's Love Story, and Osan Idol. Now, if we are going to dive into the stats, I finished a total of 66 books in the month of April, and that breaks down to 10 novels, 10 novellas/novelettes, 14 picture books, 2 comics, and 30 manga. I did try and participate in 30 and 30, and I, as you can see, succeeded. And In terms of the genre breakdown, and just as a reminder, this doesn't include picture books. So this is everything I read sans picture books. So in terms of genre breakdown, we have 37% fantasy, 12% sci-fi, 23% contemporary, 10% contemporary romance, 6% mystery thriller, 6% horror, 6% historical fiction, and 2% literary fiction. And my average star rating for the month of April was 4.17 stars. In terms of format breakdown, so physical book versus ebook versus audiobook, 32 of the books I read were physical books, 5 were audiobooks, and 29 were ebooks. 7 of the books I read in the month of April had queer representation. Everything was BIPOC, so like by BIPOC authors and or featuring BIPOC characters. And 9 of the books I read were 2024 releases or ARCs, which are also known as advanced reader copy. And with all of that, that is a total of 9,146 pages and 42.30 hours listened to in terms of audiobook. Now, moving on to my May hopeful. If you had asked me in the middle of the month what I was planning on reading for May, I would have a totally different answer because I was already compiling books I wanted to read for May and all this other nonsense. And we got to the end of April and I realized that I was reading, but I had barely touched my April hopefuls list. That stack was still too high. And so what I decided was that I'm going to focus on knocking down that list in the month of May because those are books that I really want to get to instead of just adding on. My May hopefuls is a combination of my KU and Kindle Mayhem TBR. So that is hosted by Reading with Neva and Dusty Booksniffers. They are hosting a readathon for the month of May where we read 20 books from our Kindle Unlimited and or Kindle TBR. I'm participating in that. Here is my, TBR. I'll put it there. And then the rest of my efforts is going to be focused on knocking down the books that I put on my April's hopefuls list. And if you have not seen the video, I highly recommend you go check it out. It will be linked someplace above or below or in between or whatever, as well as the books that I am currently reading that will just follow me into the month of May. And those books include The Three Body Problem by Susan Liu, Dava Shastri's Last Day by Kirthana Ramasetti, Blood Over Bright Haven by M.L. Wang, Womb City by Toloto Sumase, Those Beyond the Wall by Micaiah Johnson, as well as Squire by Nadia Shamaz and Sarah Al-Fageh. And that is it in terms of my April reading recap and May hopeful. I mean, the May hopefuls is like, just essentially bringing everything from April on over that I didn't finish, as well as the things that are on my KU Kindle Mayhem TBR. If you like this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Comment down below, what are you most excited to get to in the month of May? What was your favorite book of April? Also, I always love knowing what people's favorite book of a previous month is. Make sure to check out all of my links down below, including my Pango Book storefront, where you can shop my unhauled shelves and essentially get great books in great condition, excellent condition, like new condition, for also excellent prices. You can also join my book club, Bibliophiles Unite, as well as check out my Etsy shop. All of that is linked down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Showing. I ain't living for the moment. I see what's mine and I want it. Hungry like a Pac-Man. I'm Bruce Wayne and Batman. I'm Naruto with a Hanzo. Got a sharp mind like I'm Einstein. Poking copywriting, so it's all mine. Check it for me, I'm in the sky.